I think what we really need to think about is the position that he has been nominated for by this president elect. To be the Attorney General means that you're responsible for the Department of Justice. And the Department of Justice is one of the largest law enforcement agencies in the world. And it's very serious business. I mean, you have the Civil Rights Division, Antitrust Division, the Criminal Division, U.S. Attorney's offices, the FBI.
So the laughing hyenas over at The View aren't laughing so much right now, due to a dejected-looking Sunny Hostin forced to read awkward legal memo on The View after trashing Matt Gaetz over tossed DOJ case. Now, what happened was The View co-host Sunny Hostin, she appeared downcast Tuesday as she was forced to read a legal disclaimer on air after blasting Attorney General nominee Matt Gaetz over accusations that he had sex with a 17-year-old girl and was engaging in illegal sex trafficking. Hostin had ranted minutes earlier about the allegations against Gaetz, President-elect Donald Trump's choice to run the Justice Department. Quote, how could you nominate someone with allegations of child sex? Quote, how could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking or trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old? Hostin asked viewers, according to a clip on Tuesday shared on X, which we'll check out here in just a minute, which immediately after Goldberg went to a commercial break. Gaetz, 42, has denied all allegations of wrongdoing, and the Justice Department ended its sex trafficking investigation in early 2023 without any criminal charges filed against him. The Florida congressman resigned his seat on November 13th, days before the House Committee of Ethics was set to vote on whether it would release a report on its own investigation into claims that Gaetz had engaged in sexual misconduct and illicit drug use, amongst other transgressions, which a lot of people on the left are trying to run with that, saying that he resigned due to this potential report being released, which it's believed right now that a hacker already pretty much has this information, and many people believe that this information is going to come public regardless. The truth of the matter is Matt Gaetz resigned so early, but the reality of why Matt Gaetz resigned so early was to actually give time for his position to be filled before inauguration, essentially. Or at least that's the way that I understand it. The clip of Hostin choking out the legal disclaimer went viral after it was shared on X by conservative internet personality Colin Rugg, who wrote, Sunny Hostin fumes as she is forced to read a legal note just minutes after presenting the Matt Gaetz allegations as a fact. Now let's go ahead and have a look at what she actually said.
And within the Department of Justice, you know, you have the sex crimes unit, which is what I was a part of, child sex crimes and child trafficking. How could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old?
Okay, let me make this simple for you guys in case you're getting caught up in.
She was then, moments later, forced by producers to read this.
Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
Now, what you're witnessing there is the true power of a network, a company, the executive.
You gotta love Sunny's change in demeanor there. She was all happy and excited in her accusation, and then when she's forced to read the disclaimer, she was about as dejected as a person could be. Cheer up, Sunny. But let's hear what Dave Rubin has to say about it.
I mean, I have to tell you, people, I don't revel in other people's misery. Well, that's not true. In this case, I am reveling in her misery. The stone cold look and the crow that she had to eat on live television, and clear, look, I have no idea what's going on with any of this, any more than you have any idea what's going on with any of this. However, the statement that Gaetz got over to ABC that there's been a 3-year investigation and nothing has come of it other than allegations. And of course, what we know is this is purely political, because if she liked him, she would never be saying these things. But it's just a perfect moment. They lie and lie and lie about everything. And until you really start threatening them with the law, or the lies just get so debunked because of whatever remains to be free internet, mostly Twitter, then they can somehow come around and very stone cold read the statement. Matt Gaetz tweeted out that video we just showed you where she's reading the statement, and he just put the eyes emoji like, take a look at that. And then that brought me around to really, I guess, what the theme of the show is today, which is a tweet from Elon from about a week or so ago, where he wrote, "You are the media now." And again, guys, that's what really has happened now in these last 2 weeks. This election has changed fully how people will decide to get information. It's all been changing for years now, right? The rise of the podcaster class and the fact that CNN was always trying to take out Rogan, and it had nothing to do with him eating mushrooms or being a Nazi. It was always because he was competition. And this election finally was the culmination. It was the final move. It was the final flip, right? Where now the online thing is more powerful than these people. They're focusing on us. My hope, as I keep saying, is that we will be able to focus less on them, except I would say that when you have your opponent down, and in this case, they are our opponent because they have lied about so many things. When they're finally down for the first time, you don't just get up and move on, right? Like you have to finish them off. And that's really where we're at. And I think a lot of people all over the world are realizing that. And we'll have more on that in just a second.
And that's something that I've been trying to reiterate on the show lately, is that it's not time for Republicans to have grace on the Democrats that have attacked us for the last 8 years, right? Even longer, probably. It's time to go ahead and finish the job. That's why we voted for Donald Trump, because we trust who he's going to appoint to his cabinet this time. He mentioned on the Joe Rogan interview that he did that his first time around, he was a novice, and he basically picked from the pool of vetted individuals that were already in D.C., whereas this time he has more experience on who he should and shouldn't appoint to his cabinet, and we're seeing the results. The guy, the new border czar, I'm forgetting his name, that guy looks like he's going to do an excellent job. Pete Hegseth looks like he's going to do an excellent job. Tulsi Gabbard, Matt Gaetz, amongst others, right? Elon Musk and Vivek with their new Doge department, all looking really good as far as his appointments this time versus last time. And, you know, if anybody fails, one thing we know about Donald Trump, he's not afraid to fire people. And so, like I was saying, like Dave Rubin said right there, it's time for folks like Matt Gaetz not to persecute and prosecute Trump's political enemies, but to hold people accountable who are serving their own self-interest rather than the American people up at the, you know, the top government levels. And that's what they're so afraid of. And look, I can already tell you what the Democratic apparatus, the mainstream media, and these woke pundits are how they're gonna respond. They're gonna say, look, we were right the whole time. Donald Trump is turning into Hitler. He's going after his political opponents, when the reality is all of these people that they call the political opponents are the people that chose Donald Trump, right? They chose to go after Donald Trump and try to bring him down, try to prevent him from being on this last ballot. You know, they impeached him twice, anything and everything, even their support, even if it was quiet behind, you know, the two assassination attempts that basically were, well, one was thwarted and one, you know, was nearly successful, hit him in the ear. You know, these people have tried everything to try to stop him. Now that he is president-elect, they're scared. And rightfully so. But let's take a brief look at Tim Pool breaking down this whole situation with the laughing hyenas over at The View.
When Matt Gaetz was announced as the nominee for Donald Trump's attorney general, we bought champagne. I know, you've heard me say it, and I'm going to say it again, over and over again, because it's epic. Based AF, Donald Trump and Matt Gaetz. But the media machine and the Democrat machine is terrified of what Matt Gaetz represents. It is not a shot across the bow. Donald Trump has armed and primed a nuclear bomb on the Beltway with the name of Matt Gaetz, and they know it. Well, in a funny moment, y'all are going to love this, Sunny Hostin of The View was forced to read a legal note on The View about the allegations and how, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to lie to you every step of the way. The DOJ investigated allegations with no evidence, concluded there was no evidence nor credibility to any of it, and abandoned it. But the game they are playing with Matt Gaetz is, so long as you have been accused by anyone at any time for any reason, that's enough. So what is this? Are we going to now start accusing everybody of anything so that we can just say Jimmy Kimmel was accused? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say this. Jimmy Kimmel was accused of being a pedophile on, as it pertained to the Epstein files. That's true. Many people online were claiming that Jimmy Kimmel was directly involved with what was going on with Epstein. And he got mad. He lost his mind about it. Nothing came of it. It was people speculating on the internet. But he was accused. So right now, Jimmy Kimmel is going after Matt Gaetz, calling him Caucasian Diddy and Venmo Lester. Okay, Jimmy, I hope you realize the game you're playing, because I can go on Google right now and see tons of articles about how you were accused of being an associate of Jeffrey Epstein and being involved in this. Why? Jimmy Kimmel had a good friend who was, I think it was Epstein's personal chef or something like that. But I'm not here to entertain all that garbage. I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm just saying of Jimmy Kimmel, you have these accusations, which are unfounded, and Matt Gaetz, the accusations against him are unfounded as well. So don't play these stupid games. Okay, Matt Gaetz, whatever letter is you sent to The View should be sent to Jimmy Kimmel. And I wonder when this episode aired, they say she was forced to read a legal note on Tuesday. So this was yesterday. And then we see this from Jimmy Kimmel, I believe, also yesterday, as the story is breaking now. I don't know how they think Jimmy Kimmel is going to be able to get away with saying this if The View was forced to issue this statement as well. Jimmy Kimmel said as a statement of fact that Matt Gaetz was paying minors, which has never been proven, there's no evidence of. That is defamation per se, which means it is something so shocking and egregious that Matt Gaetz will not need to prove damages, or he will not need to abide by the Times v. Sullivan precedent. He can walk right in and say, ABC, we own you. And ABC is likely going to force Jimmy Kimmel to do the same thing, as they should. Whoopi then says, we'll be right back, and they cut to commercial. They say minutes prior, the co-hosts discussed the misconduct allegations against Gaetz, and Hostin said, with the Department of Justice, you have the sex crimes unit, which is what I was a part of, child sex crimes and child trafficking. How could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking or trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old? Goldberg said, I'm saddened by it because all of those women who will have to get some defense of what happened to them, that's who they're going to. And this is someone who will just say it's not a big deal. There's no evidence of any of it. And the DOJ dropped the charges. Now, it does sound like they issued this legal disclaimer, and it is funny, but I wonder if they did it not because of a legal threat from Matt Gaetz, but because they wanted to make these accusations, which will go viral, and then protect themselves by saying this legal disclaimer.
Bingo.
Meaning they said, we're going to talk about this. The legal department said, say this afterwards and you're good. No one from Matt Gaetz's team sent the letter, but we don't know for sure.
Nailed it. And I just got to reiterate, now is not the time to show grace to these people that hate us, right? We need to show up at Thanksgiving wearing all your MAGA gear, and if your woke family members can't handle it, let them leave. Like, seriously, if they want to fight you, share the truth with them. They want to make Trump the boogeyman. They want to try to invoke Project 2025. Show them the truth. And then make them promise that they'll apologize in 4 years after their life has gotten better like Donald Trump promised it would be. And if they can't handle it, that's on them, right? It's hard to break from the cult. It's physically painful to break from the cult. And the Trump derangement syndrome, the liberal hive mind virus that is soaked in and perpetuated by folks like The View, mainstream media, these people out here sowing fear into people that don't know better, into people that trust them. They need to basically, be canceled. I'm not all about cancel culture, but just for lack of interest in the show, people need to wise up and just be like, these people on The View, they need to change up the show if they want to stick around, right? Because it was in 2023 that this investigation into Matt Gaetz has been closed, right? The initial one. And yet here Sunny Hostin is on her platform on ABC, primetime show, maybe primetime, I don't know. I don't watch The View. Telling people the things that she told them. And I think Tim Pool hit the hammer right on the head with a nail at the end there, that they're putting this information out there, letting the lie that they're putting this information out there, they're letting the lie travel halfway around the world before the truth can even get its pants on. And that's the mainstream media. That's the woke media for you in a nutshell. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It might have been a little choppy, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It might have been a little choppy, but I did my best. I'm getting better. So I hope you guys appreciate it. If you do, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.